Ladies and gentlemen, Salamishah Tillet.
I'm really honored and excited and a bit nervous to be on the maker stage this afternoon. I'm a professor at the University of Pennsylvania, and before you hold that against me, because our most famous alum is now occupying the White House, Penn has produced some really important feminists. John Legend, Ty Sticoloris will be speaking here tomorrow, Candice Bergen, and me. So I'd like you to time travel with me a bit back to 1992. Aladdin was the most popular film that year, and Whitney Houston had belted out a classic, I Will Be from The Bodyguard, the song that she made famous, the Dolly Parton song that she made famous. But in 1992, I was a 16-year-old, and when I went to the campus of the University of Pennsylvania, I was intellectually curious and sexually inexperienced. And so when I was sexually assaulted by a senior who was a member of fraternity, I didn't know what to do. He responded to my persistent cries of no with his penetration of my body. And so I didn't know if it was rape. I didn't know who I could turn to. And so I swallowed it and blamed myself, like many survivors do. A few years later, when I went to the assistant district attorney in Philadelphia to report my crime of rape within the 5-year statute of limitations, I was afraid. See, I'm an African-American woman, and I come from a long line of women who haven't been believed. The ADA did believe me, but there was a catch. He said that in 1992, when I was sexually assaulted, the no means no rape clause did not exist in Pennsylvania, and that for me to be raped, it had to be accompanied by physical violence. So I was in a purgatory, a kind of legal limbo of believability and non-criminality. And so, as you just saw in the video, I was really lucky because I had a sister who turned to me with her camera and documented my healing process from being rape victim to rape survivor. And that became the basis of our multimedia performance, SOARS, a story of a rape survivor, and the foundation of our organization, A Long Walk Home, which uses art to empower young people to end violence against girls and women. So in the 20 years from when I told my sister my story till now, we traveled the country, places like Bellingham, Washington, Boise, Idaho, and Boston, Massachusetts. We met with students who were organizing to take back their campuses, to elevate the voices of survivors, and to believe the women and men who came forward. And over the last 10 years, we've seen a major explosion, a transformation in this movement. Organizers on campus, meeting new technologies online, started using legislation and laws like Title IX to sue their universities and colleges, and advocate for massive, sustainable reform. Their success has been great. Reached the halls of the White House. President Obama and Vice President Biden had a task force demanding that colleges be compliant to Title IX. And it's changed our conversation, our culture around rape. It's hard to imagine Bill Cosby being on trial, even Roger Ailes being fired from Fox News, without the activism of these students as our backdrop. But something else has been going on at the same time, a backlash. Organizations, institutions, and individuals have been demanding a pushback against these reforms, arguing on behalf of those who've been accused of rape as opposed to the victims of sexual assault themselves. And recently, as of today, our current or soon-to-be Secretary of Education has given thousands of dollars to such organizations. So we're in a real difficult spot. We're in a real war, as someone earlier said. And so I want to end with a note of activism, of hope, and of urgency. One, we need to be aware of and anticipate this backlash and start as activists and as alumni holding our former schools accountable to create safe spaces for all students, safe, just, equitable spaces. And three, we need to begin by advocating not from those who are the most entitled, but from the most vulnerable, girls and women who are disproportionately likely to experience sexual violence. Girls and women of color, transgendered girls and women, undocumented girls and women, and queer and gender nonconforming women. And so I ask you to join me and all of us in this movement to end violence against girls and women. Remember to be bold, be just, and then we will all be free. Thank you.